My life before I met Jesus was pretty average. Like, I was just a happy child growing up. My family had nothing to do with any religion or anything, and there have been times in my life where I've been in the depths of despair like anyone else. I've had depression, I've had anxiety, I had postnatal depression with my son. They are times that I could have called out for Jesus, I could have called out for some help or for something, but I never did. If ever I thought about God or anything like that, I felt like my brain would really try to rationalise it. A running theme was that I would avoid churches. I work as a wedding videographer, and I always feel awful saying this, but I would actively avoid, if someone put on their inquiry form that the venue was in a church, I would pretend I was busy that day. And then it turned out last year in the summer, someone booked their wedding. And then when she sent the booking form through and it was all official, there was a church listed on there. So I had to just deal with it and go and film at a church. And on that day, I met a photographer from Gas Street. I could not stop asking him, how do you believe in God? How can your brain, your rational brain, you're a clever guy, how does your brain allow you to believe in God? He was so patient with me, he answered all my questions. I look back at it now and I know my heart was opening and I didn't know at the time. And then at the end of the day, when we finished, we were about to leave. The photographer offered to pray for us. So I'd never been prayed for before. There were people around all drinking and having a really good time. And we stood there and he put his hands on our shoulders and he prayed for us. And I'd never experienced anything like it before. He prayed that God would help me to believe, show me a sign on the way home. I just felt like I was floating on air. It was just, I wasn't a believer at the time, but I felt like something had moved in me, I can't explain it. So we were driving home, and as we were approaching home, there was billboards on the side of the road. They were electronic. One of them changed and caught my eye. So then I looked over and I read it, and it was just a Bible verse. It said, "The fool says in his heart there is no God." And I read it, and then I looked at my husband and I was and I read it out to him. I was just what? I've never seen anything like that before. We drive down there all the time. I've never seen a sign like that before. I was okay, this can't be a coincidence. When we got home, I ordered my first Bible. I was I really want to read the Bible. Only a couple of weeks later, we went to church, and I remember just being really moved, but the worship music is such a big thing for me. I've never felt anything like when I listen to the music. I watched the sermon, and it was a lot about Jesus dying on the cross, and I just remember getting so emotional. It brought me to tears at the time. I was just standing there between the photographer that I hardly knew and my husband was there. I just kept getting so emotional about picturing Jesus on the cross, and it was really real and intense. I witnessed people being baptised for the very first time, and that was the day that I put my hand up and said yes to Jesus, because I just wanted to do it. So I wanted to get in there really badly by that point. I got baptised on Easter Sunday. Being baptised was one of the best days of my life, and it's not an exaggeration. My family came to my baptism, so they got to experience church. It was just the most special day, and my mum and dad aren't believers, but my mum has actually printed the picture from me being baptised and stuck it on her living room wall, because she said, "You were just so happy, I've never seen you so happy." The biggest thing Jesus has done to change my life, it isn't just my life, it's the life of my children and the way I'm going to bring up my children. There's so many things that God has changed. I feel like God has really given me a community of solid friends. I've got people to turn to, I can be vulnerable with, without judgment. In the Bible it says about the peace that transcends all understanding, and it really is. exactly that. Like recently I've been through things, but I kind of like just knew like God had a plan. That wouldn't have occurred to me before. I would have been really upset about it, or I would not have been able to cope with it the way that I can now that I've got God. It really is like you've just got a knowing that everything will eventually work out to God's perfect plan in the end.